service calls to mind our brothers and sisters who died on the job. It comes only 3 days after Anzac Day, when as Australians we remember our fallen soldiers who died on the job too. But when you're working in a war zone, you can't control your working standards. There's no occupational health and safety standards in the jungles of Vietnam or in Afghanistan today. But serious injury and death can be avoided in the workplace in Australia. Such injuries, though, can only be avoided with good occupational health and safety policies and procedures.
We're here today, and right across Australia today, construction workers are stopping work to commemorate those who've died in the construction industry and in every workplace in Australia and around the world. And I want to talk about a couple of particular situations that show why we need some changes to the laws in this country. The current state of our safety performance across the business is unsatisfactory and unacceptable. We have sites that consistently allow work activities to be undertaken in an uncontrolled or unsafe manner. Sites that don't take employees' concerns about unsafe workplaces and conditions seriously. And sites that don't report near misses so as to learn from them and ensure the situations never reoccur again. This is by no means a no-harm business, and we're going to do something about it. The name of that company is John Holland Construction. And yesterday, our union received from John Holland Constructions an example of what they're going to do about it. We received a threat to sue the union and its members if they stop work to attend this rally today.
This week we remembered a special day. Today's Workers' Memorial Day. We remember the workers who have lost their lives. Earlier it was Anzac Day, and we're reminded by our politicians, current and past, that it is a particular and special Australian day, and I agree. Let's think about what those Anzacs died for, because the politicians left and right will champion to you they died for our freedom, and they sacrificed their life for our freedom. I never forget that. And what is our freedom? Surely there can be no greater expression of a nation's freedom than its people's right to hit the streets and protest against bad law. That must be our right, because that's the sort of rights those blokes gave their lives for us for. So if we're true to their spirit, let's always embrace our democratic right, irrespective of the government of the day, to protest against bad law. Yet, how bad is it in a country that celebrates its freedom when you look at the role and the laws that are played on the construction workers of this country? You are subject to laws that only terrorists, suspected terrorists, are subject to. That's not freedom. That's oppression. That's fascism. Hitler would have been proud of that shit. And Rudd's proud of it. And you remember him standing there in front of rallies saying, let's rip up work choices, we'll rip up work choices. He's a lying little bastard. No intention of ripping up work choices, and we're stuck with an ABCC, and a 5-year report will turn into Fair Work Australia. We'll rebadge it, but it's changing the number plates. It's still a beat up, rusty old ute.
Industrial campaign taking rid of the ABCC. comrades, the ABCC was the bastard work of the Howard government. The ABCC was one of the bastards that was given birth alongside the Patrick dispute. It was about taking away the rights of workers. It was about giving entitlements to employers without accountability. It was about taking away standards of regulation and accountability and handing it over to the employers in a way that could not be dismantled. Well, the message is here today. You cannot have safe workplaces without strong unions. You cannot have fair workplaces without strong unions. You cannot have decency of employment or future job security. You cannot have an outcome to the global financial crisis unless strong unions and the working men and women that they represent and their families, not only in this country but around the world, find their voice, find each other and make sure that respect and dignity are reinstated to the workplace. My name's Toby. I was the OH&S rep on the Westgate Bridge who 9 weeks ago was sacked by a company, John Holland. In 1970, they murdered 35 people. And I say murdered because they gave guarantees that the bridge was safe and it wasn't. And 35 comrades were killed. They're still continuing to do this in Australia. 5 deaths in 2 years. 9 of us were sacked because we stood up and said, fuck you, we will not